Mary received many graces in her lifetime. She was immaculately conceived. She had the angel Gabriel appear to her. She bore the Son of God and watched him perform miracles. It was through her that the hope of Israel was fulfilled. And in all of these tremendous things, she was very much still human. When I was a kid, and quite frankly now, I had a propensity for getting lost. I wandered off several times at large crowd events and had my parents sweating bullets. I was only ever lost for a few minutes usually, but when something like that happens, the adrenaline kicks in, and so does the panic and the rushing of thoughts and the catastrophizing. Our Blessed Mother lost her son for 3 days. And just because she was immaculately conceived doesn't mean that she did not worry and care for her son. Listen to what Mary herself just said in the gospel. "Son, why have you done this to us? Your father and I have been looking for you with great anxiety." It is completely normal for us to be anxious and worried about those we love, especially when there is danger or loss. But the difference between how Mary handled it and how maybe we ourselves handle our anxieties and losses is the way that she dealt with her emotions. She could have gone all out when she saw Jesus. She could have yelled, swat him, punished him for all the grief that he caused her. And maybe that could have been a legitimate way to correct his behavior. I don't know, I don't raise children. But by the way she responded, one can tell that she didn't just let her emotions run her actions. She conveyed them perfectly, that she was very anxious for losing her son, but at the same time that she didn't let that anxiety dictate what she was going to do. When we are angry, or tired, or lonely, or whatever we're feeling in a moment, do we let our emotions run their course to turn us to unleashing our wrath on whoever's closest, or snapping at people? Or do we let that emotion guide us back to our favorite sin to try to fill that empty void that we're suffering? Mary felt the depth of her emotions. Don't doubt that for a second. But would not let them have the last word on how she was going to act. And praise God that she did, to give us a continuous example. We heard in that same gospel we just heard that she pondered all these things in her heart, as if she intuited that this moment was so important that it was one she'd have to go and pray with over and over again. And I wonder if this experience prepared her for another moment that she would have of great anxiety when she lost her son for another 3 days, this time after he suffered on a cross. Whenever she was pierced by that sword that Simeon prophesied, that was another moment where her grief and anxiety could have very easily led her to react with hatred and sorrow. But she did not let it, because her only master was the Christ. No emotion or experience would take that away from her. Now, what about me whenever I'm faced with my emotions?